Hi there. So, we've got a charity stream coming up on the 19th of November. If you could follow me on Twitch, it'd be appreciated. And especially if you could show up to that stream. Love yous. But, anyways, on into the video. So, metaverses. We've heard a lot about metaverses, and a lot of it has been, for lack of a better term, trash. Things like NFTs, crypto, all of these like random terms, and people coming in that really don't even spend any time in any current metaverse kind of things. So, I want to talk today a bit more positively about it all, and I want to talk about the things that I would like to see from a metaverse and that maybe you would like to see as well. So, the first thing I think for any successful metaverse is that creativity needs to be front and center. There is nothing that gets away from this fact. People need to be able to create, bring things in, do whatever they want in this world, just like you can in the real world, where you can go out and do whatever you want within terms of the law. Uh, you can go out and do what you want, and the metaverse needs to have that same kind of level of creativity. It needs to be able to let anyone express a way that they feel comfortable and actually promote that, push it, and do stuff for it. Be that music, models, movies, whatever. It needs to be something that people are able to express themselves in. Otherwise, there's no real point to being in a metaverse, which is the second thing it needs. It needs a feeling of purpose. There needs to be some reason to go into the metaverse. There needs to be some reason to put that VR headset on. Humans are lazy. We're like water. We take the path of least resistance. So putting a big, bulky headset on isn't always going to be the best option for a lot of us. So there needs to be some reason to go into the metaverse. And I feel like creativity and a sense of this physicality almost is what needs to be pressed and promoted and pushed. The same reason that I can be like a dragon, because why wouldn't you want to be a dragon? Which is, I suppose, the third point I want to make. I want to kind of get into the fact that it gives you the ability to be what you want to be, not what you already are. This is where the metaverse misses the mark by miles. The fact that it wants you just to be yourself in a digital world. It's like, no, people want to be who they want to be. And sometimes that means being a different gender. Sometimes that means being an entirely different species or something fictional. Sometimes that just means just hell. If you want to be a log that sits by the river and all you do all day is just sit by a river as a log, and that gives you the sense of accomplishment, a metaverse needs to be able to provide for that. But there's another thing as well. It needs to be social, like a metaverse. This is the critical thing. It needs to be a social environment. It needs to be somewhere where people with similar interests can find them each other and vibe within those specific niches. Because this is the thing. In reality, we are surrounded by a lot of people. They are work colleagues, university college like students and that as such. Whatever. We're surrounded by a lot of people, and a lot of the time we are just simply there and friends with them because they are the people that are around us. So we've got to kind of do that. Where the internet has always had this way of attracting people of certain niches into each other. And the metaverse really needs to take advantage of that. There needs to be a reason, like events taking place, things like, again, just a solid foundation to why people want to be in that metaverse. It's not something you can sell. You can't push it. It's just got to be there. It's got to be part of it. And the other thing is, you've got to feel part of this metaverse. A lot of them just you kind of feel like you're almost another speck in the place. But a true metaverse, something like how VR chat makes a lot of people feel, is makes you feel like you belong. It makes you feel like you're welcome. But be it like the fact that everybody's just got whatever. Somebody over there's got a Mr. Meeseeks avatar while somebody over there's role playing as Doctor Who. Like it because of everything's just all over the place, people feel more welcome to be themselves. And for a lot of people, I can see if a metaverse in the way that I would like to see one in the future goes on, I can see it being a very good place for people to find out more about themselves because it's very easy to express yourself online compared to in reality. And especially with things like coming out, for example, like I can imagine me finding myself that I was bisexual would be a lot easier if I was in virtual reality at the time. Um, but yeah, like so there's that. The other thing that I really want to see, and we don't haven't really seen this from a lot of things just yet, but one thing I would like to see is a feeling of presence in the actual worlds where they are. And I would love it if these worlds could be somehow connected. I am not a technical person. I know that this is a massive ask, but like I would like it to feel like there is a bit more cohesion behind worlds and places in VR. One of the things that I absolutely adore was in Neo's VR. There's a artist called Kulza who made a world where there was about like 13 properties and stuff. There was like 13 little houses, and what was happening was each person who owned a house could then decorate that house however they saw pleased. And it didn't mean like they had to select like objects that they could choose from in a store. No, they could just put whatever they wanted into it. And they could do whatever they wanted with that space. And that feeling of almost ownership there, a feeling of belonging to this place with neighbors, and that kind of sense is something a lot of metaverses are lacking. That was something that I would love to see come more in total. And the final thing is, I get that this kind of goes in contradiction to what I originally said, but I would like it to be as accessible to as many people as possible. Now, of course, this means that certain restrictions have to be put in place in certain things. For example, I really feel like a metaverse should be accessible from even some like a smart device, like a phone, something that everybody has and is able to connect to it. I actually do like that idea. But obviously, it would mean things like certain creations would have to be torn down or turned off. And again, there's a lot of technical problems that I know I'm overlooking. And there's some network engineer out there saying in the chair, but but for me, I'm just talking about what I would actually love to see if you know that wasn't a limitation. I would love to see it if a metaverse could genuinely be quite meta. Like that's the problem. A lot of them ain't meta. They're just here's a product, here's a thing, and this even goes for VR chat and Neos and Chill Out. They're all none of them are truly a metaverse yet. The closest I would argue is probably VR chat. Simply because it's got that big community, it's got that big social element to it. There are literally conventions held in virtual reality now. There are literally music shows held in it. That is the kind of thing that I would actually like to see. And I remember when Meta first came about, and I was actually, I'll put my hands up. I was kind of like, hey, Facebook has the money and has the technical prowess to be able to do this. I was proved wrong, substantially wrong, but I was looking forward to it. But I do still believe in this idea. I do want to see an actual metaverse being created, a place where we can all genuinely build up together, kind of like an advanced version of VR chat. And it is why VR chat to this day is still my favorite platform because of the social element, because of the amount of creativity that you see on that platform. That's the kind of thing I love to see. But who knows? Maybe in 10, 20 years, a lot of the technical problems that I'm talking about here might actually be quite easy to overcome. Maybe they won't. Again, I'm not a smart man. I'm just kind of a guy rambling on the internet dressed up as a dragon. The metaverse. What? But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it. I always hate how we have to be so negative about all of these things all the time because the tech bros come in and they steal these ideas that we could use for our genuine benefit. Us as furries, like we can be ourselves online in a physical space, and there's just it's something just so relieving. And a lot of you who've been in VR will understand that. Why it's one of the reasons why I make models for a living when I could be making other things probably for a lot more. I just genuinely enjoy The idea of being myself and helping other people become themselves. And I hope you find yourselves. And I hope this was entertaining. And if you've got any thoughts, hey, let me listen to them. Because I love this conversation. I love the idea of this. But other than that, I hope you're having a lovely day. Love you all. Mwah. Goodbye.